Welcome back to Old Junk and a Dog. Today, the boss said I have to do some oil changes. Now, oil changes aren't much fun, but I've been in the professional shop environment for a long time. And, way too long. And, you know what, I thought I'd just show everybody, when you take your car in to get the oil changed, I'm going to show you guys what a decent oil change mechanic will do. And this might talk about a little bit about upselling, but a decent mechanic is going to tell you what's wrong with your car. So first off, we're going to get the oil draining out of here. This car is about 3,000 miles past due, which it's running synthetic oil, so it's not really too bad a deal, but as you can see, the oil's ready to be changed. I'm going to be taking you around, showing you what a mechanical check, and you know, just see things that you might get upsold on at a dealership. So, first thing I'm going to do, bring in here, get the oil draining. Car's run a little bit, so, and this car requires big pliers to get the oil filter off. It's got a filter cartridge. We're going to struggle with it for a minute because big pliers and a little space. Get started and it usually comes right off. Now, this is a 09 Pontiac Vibe, and it's a car I've serviced for a long time. So I know it's been pretty well taken care of, so we're going to look it over, make sure there's nothing else going on, because strangely enough, this might be actually be my wife's car. So very much a VIP customer. We'll take that, let that drain. And while the oil is draining, we're going to go around the car and look at things, you know, while it's up in the air. First thing we're going to do while it's up in the air is go over here to the wheels, give them a good push around, see if anything's loose. You know, that's a important thing to check every time you're working on something. You know, make sure you don't have any steering components that need checking out. I'm not going to take the tires off this car because they don't need it, but I worked at a tire shop for a lot of years. I always checked, you know, ran my hand one way or the other. Make sure the tires aren't feathering, aren't wearing funny. This car is known to eat rear tires. And yeah, you can feel a little bit of feathering in the back, but since it's got this weird torsion bar rear suspension, there's really no adjustment to take out of it. We can notice things like this. Rubber's starting to crack. Might need new bushings at one point. Yeah, both sides. We're going to look at suspension components, make sure that the shocks are not leaking. They're got some miles on them, but they're okay. But again, you're checking to see what the tires look like. Make sure they spin all right. Make sure there's no lumps, no low spots in them. Not too bad. We'll look at the exhaust, and we're going to ignore the exhaust because we're not an exhaust shop. Everything looks to be in order. This car is fairly clean underneath. These plastic wheel caps, if you guys remember these from the old Pontiacs, you always want to make sure that all the little plastic lug nuts that hold things on are tight. Like that one's not, that one's not, that one wasn't, that one wasn't, that one was. This is something I have to do on this car quite a bit. Make sure it doesn't lose a hubcap. And we'll go ahead and check this one real quick. And see, that one looks loose, but it's not. And again, checking suspension components, get it up in there, see if anything's leaking. You know, nice and dry underneath, no oil leaks. Besides the one that I made. Okay, good there. And then we're going to sit back, grab the air line and go around and check the air pressure in all tires. And then we're gonna pause the camera because I forgot to put my pressure right. Like I said, gonna check all the tires. Make sure they're all aired up to 32 PSI. That one is. So it's very important to go ahead and check the air pressure in the tires when you're doing an oil change. You think about it, a normal wheel will lose between 1 and 3 PSI a month. So if you go 4 or 5 months between oil changes, be sure to check the tires. You know, it's just good practice. Okay, since we're still underneath the car, things are still dripping. We'll get the oil filter out. Toss that in there. And now these little plastic ones, as you see, I got brand new O-rings. So you get this O-ring has been here for a few cycles and it's ready to come out. So you get that out and just toss it on the floor somewhere. Get the new O-ring. This is nice and oily still, so I'm not going to be worried about it sticking too badly. Get ourselves a new filter. Jam that in there and throw this thing back in. Now this thing takes a little bit to get this opened up, but you want to run these down until they're flattened out and bombed out in the threads. You don't want to torque them to death, but you want them tight as they'll go. And while you're still in the car, and you notice it's done dripping, or mostly done dripping, get the plug back in there. Realize you've done something with your wrench. There it is. Now you want to torque this as hard as you can. No, just snug. You're tight, but don't get the impact out on there and ugga-dugga it down. Now, just for reference later, you make sure you don't have any drips or anything like that, because you're going to check this when you fill it all up. And sometimes you'll need to put a new sealing surface on the drain plugs. Get the oil drain out of the way, and we'll bring her down and inspect the top. Now you get up to the top, you look around and see what's going on here. I like to go ahead and pop the air cleaner off real quick and just to see what we got going on here. Let's look at this. Pull the air cleaner out. Now, I will call this a dirty air cleaner. This thing's seen a few miles. You see it's got dirt, it's got grime, it's got leaves and stuff packed in there, but inside's still fairly clean. I'm going to suggest to the customer she gets a new air cleaner. Now, this being wifey's car, I'm going to suggest it to myself because I'll be the one buying it. But we're going to throw that back in there for right now. Make sure you put it back in the same orientation. Yeah, this one's annoying to, pop it back closed. And we'll forget about that again until the next oil change. We're going to check, we're looking at, make sure there's coolant in the jug. See if anything's obviously leaking or anything like that. Transmission, this thing always ships nicely. We're right there on the full line, so even with it turned off. Battery is dirty and old. That's probably going to be an issue for at some point in the near future. And let's see. Now one thing you noticed I did whenever I pulled the car in, I always take the oil cap off and set it on the latch of the hood. That way you can't close the hood without putting oil in this thing. That's just a little mental reminder saying, hey, there's no oil in there, stupid. So we're going to grab the funnel and throw a couple of quarts in. This car gets Valvoline full synthetic. And I like this because that means I don't have to change the oil near as often. I've always run synthetic in this car, and it usually comes out pretty dang clean. This car will take 4.5 quarts, which is, this is a 5-quart jug. So we'll just try not to make a mess while we do this. Glug, glug, glug. 5W20 for the Toyota. This is a Pontiac Vibe. This is the same as a Toyota Matrix of the same vintage, or a Toyota Corolla. And that's a little hint for your mechanic guys. Buy your wife a car that you don't have to work on very often. There's no pre-fill on the oil filter on this car. It sits exactly 90 degrees, so it just pours out. One quart left. So about our half quart. Yeah, give or take there. It'll be good enough to start. We'll top her off. Now we start the car. Okay, car's running. No weird noises. You look underneath, make sure nothing's just pissing out. Everything looks to be good. Headlights all work. Go around, inspect tail lights. Usually turn on the flashers, check the flashers, make sure they go on like that. All good. Everything looks nice. Let's turn it off, check the oil. Okay. We're going to check the oil. Wipe her off. Put it in a hole. Pull it out. And you see we're about 1/4 inch below the full line right there. So, just a touch more with the topper off. Honestly, these Toyotas, I usually try to get them between the lines, just about half a layer point or so. Since I know I probably won't look at this car again for another 4 or 5 months, I'll just add just a touch more. That should do it. Like I said, not much left in that jug. That puts us right at the full line. So, last thing, make sure you get your oil cap on. Do notice that looking at the brake fluid, it's down halfway mark, so we're going to add just a touch of brake fluid in there, and we're going to send this one back down the road. Don't forget your oil change stickers. Okay, we have the next victim here, which is a 2017 Ford Edge. And for your oil change guys, this car has a remote start, or just a keyless start. So whenever you're working on one of these, you take the key and you walk it away from the car somewhere. You do that because you don't want the car to start while it has no oil in it. You also want to unpop the hood. But this car, it's owned by an asshole that doesn't do maintenance. You know, I think the guy might have been a mechanic in his past life, and he just wants an appliance that goes point A to point B. Okay, first thing I noticed as I was lifting this thing up is I ran my fingers across the tire, and you can kind of feel it, hear it catching there. The tires are feathering on this thing, so it's due for a rotate if nothing else. Probably needs an alignment, but we're not going to do that today. And the next thing I realized is it has a big old shield on the bottom side of this thing for aerodynamics and scrapes. And at any rate, so next thing we got to do is pull that air deflector down. We'll just put that in the trash probably. And why do you buy a Toyota over a Ford? I don't know. Let's see. This one right here has half the miles of the last car and is an oily mess. Something's been leaking. I don't know. Something up there. Valve cover maybe. Terpsky. Yeah. Could be any number of things. Yeah. But at any rate, so we'll get pulling the oil out of this and see what we got. Okay. And lefty loosey, righty tighty. Oh, someone got that one good. See what we got in here. Make sure we got oil. Again, as we're letting the oil drain, we come over, give the wheels a good shake around, make sure that nothing's obviously wrong. We're looking around at the shocks, make sure nothing's leaking. Yeah, we can always upsell shocks if we want to. I mean, this thing's got 112K on it actually now. And yeah, that's about the time shocks start wearing out and doing things. Look at the CV axle boots, all-wheel drives. Get back here and make sure everything else is nice and behind here. Rear tires don't have any feathering, so we're going to definitely do that rotate. This thing's got plastics and air dams and everything all around it. And, well, we just let the oil drain and see what we got. The oil filter here. The oil filter is actually easy to get to on this one if I can actually spin it off. But we're going to wait a second because it's too far away from my oil pan to drop it and not make a huge mess. Lots of oil underneath here. Got oil on that side, got oil right underneath the rear main. This is not things you want to see on a very new modern vehicle, but things that we can upsell. So, hey, like I said, this car is in desperate need of a rotate. And since, like I said, the owner's kind of an asshole, I thought I'd go ahead and get this done for him. That way he doesn't get mad at me. Do the best NASCAR tire removal as I can here. Okay, the wheels are off. This is always an opportunity for the tech to look at the brake pads and realize that the rear brakes are almost gone on this car. So there's an upsell. Hey, you need some brake pads, man. Those rotors don't look too hot either. Let's look at this one. Yeah, look at that. Those are getting down there. So I say these are original brakes for this 100,000 mile vehicle. Yeah, there. Oh, sorry. Framing. Yeah, this one's got a little bit more pad to it. And Get in there, look around. That one's got a little bit of pad. That's probably all right. Nothing squeaky on this thing yet, but they're getting close. Yeah, but these rip pads, oh, those things are dunsies. So need to put those on the list right there. We'll work up an estimate for this guy. All right, put the oil in the engine. Again, modern vehicle. This is a turbo vehicle, so you want to use the good stuff. That way you don't change it near as often. So we're going full synthetic again. Dump her in there. Like I said, this vehicle takes all the torque. Makes you feel like you're about to break these lug nuts off. But any good shop will do this. Instead of those stupid torque bars or just running them on with the impact. Very important to do. Make sure your wheels don't fall off. And I'm not going to say from experience, but I'm going to say from experience, this is a step you don't want to skip, because sure as the world, if you skip it, then your customer's going to come back very unhappy with you. You guys get the idea. Do the back. Next step, of course, for customer memory problems, you put in the next oil change. Give yourself an oil change sticker. Now, this is a fancy new vehicle. It has monitors and things that will tell you when it's due. But I like to do this just for peace of mind. That way I know when the last time I did it was. And tire pressure fall, battery low. Let's see, I don't recall. Let's go to settings maybe. Vehicle. Engine life reset. Engine life 10%. Hold OK to reset. And we're good. All right. Move on to the next vehicle. Yell at me. So all the sensors, but we're out of the shop. Okay, one last car for the day, and this one's the customer's waiting on, and it's probably going to be out here talking to me in the shop, so I'm just going to get her done, and I'll bring you back if I find anything cool. Okay, got this one up in the air. A couple things, you might heard me rev it a little bit. The flex joint, the exhaust on this one's starting to leak just a little bit, so got a little bit of a throaty noise, and then we got some seeping right here from the axle seal, so we'll make a note of that. And let's see, checking the tires. Tires are going pretty well. Say no real weird wear or anything I can see. And again, check the shocks. See if anything's leaking up there. Everything looks pretty good. All right, like I said, I think I'll got the customer here right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and talk to him a little bit and get this thing done. Okay, another happy customer. That customer was more than willing to do the upsell. So apparently I'm going to be doing an exhaust pipe and a CV axle seal at some point. But that concludes the day for the day. So just a simple little video about oil changes. Nothing serious, just things that you can expect to get whenever you take your car in and tell them, hey, just change the oil. I'm in a hurry. Well, no. A good mechanic's going to look at the car over and tell you what's going on with it, at least in my experience. And if you get a place that drops oil and refills it and kicks it on the way, then you're really not getting what you're paying for, I don't think, because those places are just as expensive as good places. All you're getting is convenience, and some people like that, some people don't. But at any rate, thanks for watching, and you guys have a good one.